And we have well surpassed anything and everything that Allison ever put on the city of Houston.
Yeah, I was in a hotel. I'm in a hotel here in San Antonio because my wife, my family, our dogs, and everything else. And it just showed that while I was downstairs, it was saying that we received as much rain in Houston as the whole city of San Antonio has received in the previous 16 months combined. And that's mind-boggling to me. But when I talk with these teams, I'm hearing from them, that a lot of their families have lost everything. I mean, everything. Again, I'm not trying to necessarily talk about football. I'm talking about them as a human being, because one of the things that we try and make sure that people know, at least in the Houston chapter, that before football, and we want to make sure that everyone knows that we're a family and we're going to be here to help each other out. So this is definitely something I think that's going to pull our chapter even closer together. But to hear that some of these kids are having to be, rescued in boats and helicopters and, waiting for hours for help, and, they don't have access to equipment or electricity, or, they're staying in shelters and things like that, that's beyond me. I just can't. It's just not something that we ever thought. We knew it could happen, but never something that we thought would happen.
So is there any organizations that you haven't been able to get a hold of yet?
I believe almost everyone has returned phone calls. I don't think that I've missed one. And if I have, I sincerely apologize, but I think I've checked everybody off my list. And if I haven't spoken with the president, I've spoken with the AD or the coach or somebody. I've spoken with almost every single person. I take that back. The one organization I haven't been able to speak to personally was anyone from the Farm League Hurricanes. So I've reached out to both of them again tonight. I've reached out to Chris Stewart and to Perry Evans tonight again, but I haven't had a chance for them to return my call. And I don't expect them, necessarily to pick up the phone because, everything that they're going through. But other than that, I'm pretty sure I've been able to reach almost everybody in the chapter.
Okay. Well, anybody from the Farm League Hurricanes, if you're listening here tonight, check in with Avron. It's not about football. We just want to make sure that everybody is okay. We understand everything that's going on. We just want to hear from you. We just want to make sure everything is okay with you personally and your organization, and just checking in. And that's all we want to do. Avron,
absolutely.
We talked a little bit offline prior to tonight, and one of the things you mentioned was one of the things you're hearing, it is almost kind of shocking with everything that's going on, is the one thing these kids are looking forward to. What's that?
Man, and that's as you even said that, I get the chills just thinking about it, because it didn't matter if I was talking to a male, a female, a coach, a volunteer, or just a parent. Everything they want to talk about, I can't end the conversation without talking about when we're going to start and getting back to football, because the truth is football is normal for us. That is, if you want to get back to normal, we can't get back to normal in our chapter without playing football. So the crazy part is they all want to know. I think they kind of feel bad bringing up the whole subject, but they're like, okay, what about the schedules? And what about the season? And, we're going through the worst storm possibly in American history. And they're worried about football. So it's it's exciting to see that they're ready to get back to football, because that will bring some sense of normalcy to everybody, but they all want to get back on the football field and play football. So that's exciting. And I promise you, one way or the other, our Houston chapter will be playing some football. And I promise them that.
Well, and staying on that subject, and I mean, it's great to hear. I mean, number one, it lets us know that their spirits are high. They're ready to get back to normalcy, and they want to do the one thing they've been preparing to do. They were hoping to do this weekend, and unfortunately, we just can't get it off. But the one thing they wanted to do was to get on the football field and play the sport of football, and that is a great thing to hear. And I know it's probably too early to even tell right now, because we're still dealing with flooding issues, particularly downstream of the levees, particularly the Addicks Reservoir and the Barker Cypress Reservoir. But what about the fields? Have you heard or gotten any feedback about the fields that are being used?
So several of them were concerned about that, and that was something we brought up. But, almost every phone call I had, there was some type of contingency plan that was discussed. I know this morning at 11 a.m., an impromptu chapter call was made, and a lot of us, probably 13 of us, got on the phone and started talking about, plan A, plan B, plan C, and plan D. And so a lot of the fields are going to be underwater, and we know that the school districts might not allow us to get on those pretty early. But we're already trying to figure out how we could get to some of the more privatized fields, and even if we're having to play, Saturday and Sunday to get caught up with the rest of Taifa, they're willing to do that. And I threw to them that, hey, worst case scenario, we'd have a Taifa league, but just there in Houston, and they don't want that. They want to compete against the best, which is all the other teams across the state, and they don't care if we've got to play Saturday and Sunday or whatever it is, to catch up. And after talking with Brian Morgan, if we don't have to cancel, too many weeks, we'll be able to play, a couple games a weekend to get caught up with everybody. And from what I'm hearing, Kenny, by any means necessary. That's kind of become what I've heard from them, and the common theme is by any means necessary, we're going to play some football, and we want to represent, the Houston chapter at Ford Field in December.
So have we looked at possibly looking at fields outside of the Houston area? And I know, of course, travel is probably the biggest issue, just even trying to navigate around areas that are still flooded just to get out of Houston. But is that a possibility?
Well, that's definitely something we've talked about as well. But some of the challenges that we face is because of the magnitude of the storm, a lot of our families and, a lot of their cars are ruined. So as far as transportation and getting these kids back and forth to some of these things, that's going to be a problem for some of them as well. So some of the things you got to take into consideration. As a chapter director and speaking with some of the presidents, I think a more conscious effort would be to try and get to some of these fields that had multiple fields at the same place, where we can kind of run like a jamboree style day of games or a couple of days of games, where we could host, have access to 2 or 3 fields at the same location and get a bunch of people there and, cut down on some of the costs and some of the travel for people. But those are just some of the things we're thinking about to make sure that we get the season off. But I can guarantee you this much, man, these kids were hungry before. These coaches were hungry before. And what's happened now is just, definitely lit the fire even higher, more. And I'm looking forward to seeing, these kids. And I just wanted to see their faces today. I just asked them to log on, and, I was in a hotel room, hadn't barely showered and everything else, but I just wanted to see their faces, make sure everybody was all right. And I can't wait to see, what happens, once we get back on the football field. It's going to be emotional for me, to be honest with you, but I can't wait.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be emotional for everybody, because it's just to be able to get those games off next weekend. I think it's going to be a great feat by you and everybody involved, trying to make sure the fields are available, getting the teams available. A lot of them, I think, probably lost their equipment as well. Trying to get them repurposed with their helmets, shoulder pads, uniforms. Uniforms are going to be lost, I'm sure. They're going to. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but
no.
That's been a major concern. A lot of these families lost. When we say everything, that included football uniforms and helmets and things like that. There's people who were printing our stuff locally who had to evacuate, so they haven't been able to finish printing the stuff that they're supposed to print as well. So we really, really, really have a huge task ahead of us in Houston. But the beauty of it is, I brag about our chapter so much. And, the resiliency and the fire and the eagerness that they have to get back on the football field, it's enlightening. It invigorates me. And they've enlightened me as a chapter director to want to just lead them to get back on the football field the best and quickest way that we can. And, whether it's waivers that we've got to fill, and we've got people from all over the country looking at trying to help get, equipment to them and things like that. So we're going to accept that. My buddy Chris Von Wald in McAllen, called me tonight and told me that they're looking to bring up 8 trailers worth.
It's all right. The love that Taifa's got for its chapters is there. Everybody's reaching out. I know we got the chapter in Killeen. They're trying to put some stuff together and organize and do things to come down to Houston to help out in any way they can. It's coming from the RGV. It's coming from San Antonio. There's a big push in San Antonio this weekend to put things together to get to Houston and help out the organizations all around. I can understand how it can get emotional for you.
Yeah, it's just, for years it's been felt like, Houston was on the outside looking in, and, people really didn't care and all of that good stuff. But
Well, I think in the tragedy of what's occurred, I think there's a shining light that shows Houston that we do care. Everybody in this organization, in this league, cares about Houston, and they're doing everything they can to help them out. Avron, I'll let you go. I know this is a tough thing for you to hold on to. You've done a great job, and stay in contact with them. Make sure that they know that we're still here, and a lot of plans are in place right now to do anything and everything we can to get them back on their feet, at least as a league aspect, as a football aspect. And probably the best thing we can do is probably get them back on the football field.
Absolutely. I appreciate it, Kenny, and I'm looking forward to I'll be in touch with you as well and let you know what some of our plans are. But I'm looking forward to it, man. Thank you.
All right, no problem. Keep it here. We'll be right back here on Taifa Radio. Joey Teague, son of Mike and Patty Teague and longtime Taifa members, was born with cystic fibrosis. Despite this, Joey went to school, graduated with honors from Judson High School, and attended the University of Texas at San Antonio for 3 years, all while struggling to stay healthy. Joey also coached in Taifa with the Live Oak Jaguars from 1998 to 2006 and was a husband and father. Joey passed away in 2007. The Joey Teague Taifa Volunteer of the Year Award was established to recognize and bring attention to the many volunteers who help make Taifa one of the premier leagues in Texas and the nation through heartfelt passion, enthusiastic commitment, and a contagious spirit, all of which epitomize Joey Teague and all that he gave to youth sports. For more information or to nominate a volunteer from your organization for the Joey Teague Taifa Volunteer of the Year Award, send your nominee's name, contact information, and a short bio as to what makes them a great volunteer. You can send the information to helpdesk@taifa.com. That's helpdesk@taifa.com. The Joey Teague Taifa Volunteer of the Year Award. Recognize your volunteer.
Points, cash, gear, sports. With a Dick's Scorecard, you earn points on all your purchases and get 3% back in rewards and access to exclusive deals and events. It's simple. Points lead to cash to buy gear so you can play more sports. Get your Dick's Scorecard and start earning reward certificates today. Every season starts at Dick's.
All-Star.
All-Star.
All-Star Inflatables, a premier custom manufacturer of cold air inflatables.
And they know what big-time Texas football is all about.
They specialize in Team Spirit tunnels, inflatable helmets, mascots, bounce houses, and much, much more.
They also do repairs.
No job is too big or too small for All-Star Inflatables. With over 35 years of combined experience, their goal is to create, design, and manufacture top-quality inflatables at affordable prices. All-Star Inflatables is proud to manufacture 100% in Texas, 100% made in the USA.
All-Star Inflatables is a proud sponsor of the Texas Youth Football and Cheer Association. Taifa organizations, let them know you're with Taifa and get 10% off.
See their ad at taifa.com and check them out at www.allstarinflatables.com. That's all-starinflatables.com. Or call their sales department at 888-349-4386.
Or email them at sales@allstarinflatables.com.
All-Star Inflatables. If you can imagine it,
they can inflate it.
Rock Solid. A Rock Solid soft shell helmet is the first helmet a kid will ever wear. It enhances the experience and allows kids to feel like big-time football players. After their NFL careers, the Rock Solid team was built on the powerful idea that by delivering gear that promotes a better experience, they can help to preserve and grow the game of football. Rock Solid is a proud sponsor of the Texas Youth Football Association and the Taifa Radio Player of the Game Award. For more information on how you can get your Rock Solid soft shell helmet and other great gear and apparel from this authentic football company, go to www.liverocksolid.com. That's liverocksolid.com. Or call 855-282-8880. Email rocksolid@info@liverocksolid.com. Rock Solid. Football is for everyone. We got you. Hi, Kenny Long here, and I want to talk to you about rain gutters. With the recent heavy rains in South Texas, many of us have come to realize that the rain gutters on our homes either don't work or simply just don't exist, destroying flower beds and just creating a mess. Let me tell you about Curtis McCluskey with Advanced Rain Control. He is your go-to guy for seamless gutters, cleanouts, and repairs. Serving San Antonio and the surrounding areas with over 25 years experience, Curtis will get you a quality rain control gutter system on your home at a